When asked where he obtained the meat, Haarmann sometimes said he had obtained the produce from a butcher named Karl, although investigators would later note that the stories Haarmann told his acquaintances regarding the origins of this individual varied. In his subsequent confessions to police, Granz stated that, although his sexual orientation was heterosexual, he himself initiated contact with Haarmann, with the intention of prostituting himself. Haarmann himself stated following his arrest that he viewed Granz as being like a son to him, adding that he pulled him out of the ditch and tried to make sure he didn't go to the dogs. According to Haarmann, although he was smitten with Granz, he gradually became aware the youth manipulated and, occasionally, mocked him. A few times Granz was evicted after heated arguments only for Haarmann to plead with him to come back. Despite the manipulation Haarmann endured at the hands of his accomplice, he later claimed to tolerate the capitulation as he craved Granz's companionship and affection, adding, "I had to have someone I meant everything to." Haarmann initially resided in a hotel, before he and Granz lodged with a middle-class family. Through criminal contacts, Haarmann became aware of a vacant ground-floor apartment located at 8 Neue Strasse. The apartment was located in a densely populated, old house located alongside the Leine River. Haarmann secured a letting agreement with the landlady, ostensibly to use the property for storage purposes. He and Granz moved into 8 Neue Strasse on July 1, 1921. On May 17, 1924, two children playing near the Leine River discovered a human skull. Determined to be that of a young male aged between 18 and 20 and bearing evidence of knife wounds. Furthermore, police theorized the skull may have been discarded in the river at Alfeld, which had recently experienced an outbreak of typhoid. 2 weeks later, on May 29, a second skull was found behind a mill race located close to the scene of the earlier discovery. Shortly thereafter, two boys playing in a field close to the village of Doran discovered a sack containing numerous human bones. 2 more skulls would be found on June 13, one upon the banks of the Leine River, and another located close to a mill in West Hanover. The discovery sparked fresh rumors regarding missing and murdered children. In addition, various newspapers responded to these discoveries and the resulting rumors by harking to the disproportionate number of young people who had been reported missing in Hanover between 1918 and 1924. On June 8, several hundred Hanover residents converged close to the Leine River and searched both the banks of the river and the surrounding areas, discovering a number of human bones. In doing so, they discovered more than 500 further human bones and sections of bodies, many bearing knife striations, which were later confirmed by a court doctor as having belonged to at least 22 separate human individuals. Many of the recent and aged discoveries bore evidence of having been dissected, particularly at the joints. Over 30% of the remains were judged to have belonged to young males aged between 15 and 20. Suspicion for the discoveries quickly fell upon Haarmann. Moreover, he had been connected to the 1918 disappearances of Friedel Roth and a 14-year-old named Hermann Koch, who had disappeared weeks prior to Roth. Being a trusted police informant, Haarmann was known to frequent Hanover Central Station. As he was well known to many officers from Hanover, 2 young policemen were drafted from Berlin to pose as undercover officers and discreetly observe his movements. The surveillance of Haarmann began on 18 June 1924,